We are back at it again with another quick thought, hot takes from Real Chums. I don't know what we're calling these. I texted Marcel earlier today, and I was like, dude, did you see that Marvel Disney did the in credits for Secret Invasion as AI?
And you hadn't seen it yet,
I
right?
had not seen it. I just saw a tweet.
All this conversation about it online. Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw like some conversation that like in like some sort of article that was stating that like it was done with AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we need to talk about this.
I had seen it when you texted me. I stepped away during lunch. I saw it and I was like, okay. All right, let's talk about it. I want to preface this by saying I am not going to talk about the ethics of it all in too much detail. I think there are better, more capable, and smarter individuals than me to talk about the ethics. But here's what I will say: I liked it. I like it for a couple of reasons. One, I'm watching the opening credits, and immediately I'm just like, oh, this feels weird. It feels off. I'm like, but it's kind of cool. Whatever. Like, I like it. I don't like it. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. And then I watched the episode, and if you haven't seen it, again, like the Skrulls, a
faction of
alien,
Skrulls.
Yeah, a faction of Skrulls. But this alien that are aliens, they shapeshift and take the form of other humans. So the concept is that they have infiltrated aspects of society, of government, and the whole time, something that may seem familiar seems off. And that was the feeling I was getting when I was watching this episode. And the credits set the tone just for that, for me. Immediately, I felt off. I felt uneasy. I felt like something was familiar, but it was off. And I think that's on purpose. For me, as a viewer, it set the tone perfectly for what this episode and what I'm assuming the rest of the series will be like.
I think you said it really well, Marcel. To me, look, so I try to come in, especially if in this scenario where I've heard about something, I try to go in with an open mind. And it wasn't like the article was saying, or like the article that, or the little bit of that I had seen was like, which is that they had done this with AI and like it puts it into context, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So definitely going into it and knowing that it was AI, I'm like, oh, this definitely feels AI. But I'll be honest with you, I feel like if I had not heard that, I would have been like, definitely something's weird off. But I'm like, this just must be stylistically something there.
That they went with,
I do think that there's something more that like there's an AI flavor, definitely. That once I know it's AI, that I'm like, oh, I don't think this would have been as easy. Like this would not have been. This would have been more difficult to have made, and honestly, like you said, it really sets kind of like the tone for what this at least the first episode was. I don't know if this is what the tone of the whole season, and for that aspect, but for me, the couple things that came to mind, particularly for me, was the fact that like, is it when you classify is it good? Mm-hmm. I'm a firm believer that it doesn't matter if it's good. It matters if it's good enough to send, to ship
mm-hmm.
it,
to publish. Okay? Yeah,
and I think that like they were testing something, and they, someone or a crew of people were working on this sort of opening title sequence, and maybe it was a sequence of like the crew that normally creates these title sequences that like collectively created these images, sequence of images that like opened up the credits, which to me I think would have been like a fun experience. There would have been something interesting and would have made them, like to me when we've done stuff, like we're using AI to generate a lot of our social content. Is it perfect? No. Is it the exact thing that we would like to have? No. But it gets the job. It's good enough. And to us right now, good enough is okay.
I like that you bring that up because you know me. I dug a little bit into this, and here's what I'm noticing. Online, everyone's dogging and going after Disney and Marvel for taking jobs away from artists by using AI, right?
Right.
So, and I think the notion out there is that some Disney executive, some Marvel executive, I don't know, maybe even Kevin Feige got on some AI illustrating app, suggested a bunch of things, and then this is what they kept getting out. That is not at all what happened. So they went to Method Studios. If you don't know Method Studios is a VFX house studio that has done a lot of opening credits for these Marvel shows. They did the ones for Loki, for Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, various others. Now, at some point, a studio of graphic designers, of VFX professionals, they took on the gig, and I want to hear from them. Like, I think that's my main thing is, how did you using AI help you as a VFX organization be more efficient, be more effective, and put out more creativity out there, right? Because for all we know, and this is just me making a massive assumption, we've been hearing on the news about how these VFX houses are just getting bogged down with work. They're just pushing stuff out, and we as audiences are getting upset, right?
Or even completely shutting down.
Yeah, there's a very good chance that, I don't know, some team lead said, you know what, instead of using 5 VFX artists for this opening sequence, I'm going to leverage 1 or 2 guys or 2 individuals to focus on the VFX sequence using AI. The rest of the team can focus on actually getting the series, the episodes done with the VFX that they need. Which, in my opinion, like the shape shifting that we saw on episode 1, it actually looks really good. It looks just as good, if not slightly better, than it did in Miss Marvel, in Captain Marvel, right?
Did you rewatch Captain Marvel before seeing Invasion?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
but that's kind of what I'm coming at. Is I want to hear from Method Studios on how they feel this helped their organization be more efficient. I think we're so quick to come out and with our pitchforks and say AI is horrible, but like, maybe now they're able to leverage and have individuals focus on things that kind of push the needle and drive more business sense for them, right? So I think that's kind of where I'm coming from. Is, where's Method Studios in all of this? And they haven't tweeted anything about it.
I mean, I don't think they're going to.
Like, I don't think. They haven't. But I would love to just hear, like, from a back end side of it all, like, someone say, like, here's why we used it, and here's why also, like, it made us be more efficient, it helped us, or maybe it didn't. I don't know. I want to know more about that aspect of the business.
I would want to also know, like, where Disney came, like, where Marvel's, like, exec team came into play, like, or the studio, like, the team as like a production team or whatever, or post-production side. Like, what was that? Was that a because in all, like, truly, I mean, they could have made this opening credit scene like only last week.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, because, like, this technology is, like, brand spanking new. Like, a month ago was when I think I saw some Twitter inklings in the AI sphere that's, like, bombarding my feeds of, like, this sort of tool that you can describe, and it's generating more of an actual AI motion video, like AI video that's from a prompt, not just like Mid-Journey and then, like, adding those stills into, like, a with some Ken Burns effects or whatever. Like, this is, like, what they've got right here. So it could have been that Disney's already, like, made a partnership and they wanted to collaborate with this, so they had early access, or I'm not exact. Again, this is, like, there's a lot of questions here that for me as a creative, like, I want to know, because it is interesting. I don't, like, I think that what you said is, like, really, this is, AI is not going to take our jobs. It's not going to take us our jobs. It's only going to allow us to be more efficient. It's only going to allow us to be more creative in the things that we as humans are like, why we are who we are. And, like, no machine can do what we as humans do, right? A machine can cut and they can analyze, it can compare, but it can't feel. It can't feel the tone of voice. It can't feel the excitement, or like the sadness or the fear or whatever. It can't distinguish necessarily the style. It can analyze styles, but it can't always depict that thing. And I think that's why, like, to me, you said maybe they leveraged two people, and I'm over here thinking that maybe they leveraged a small, like a whole separate crew.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was like a creative director and then these two people, right? But the creative director was very involved in this process because they wanted that stylistic feel of uneasiness, of like this sort of blurry painting depiction of like the world, which leads right into that opening shot of not opening. Yeah, is it the opening? Yeah, the opening shot of Samuel L. Jackson, like in that like classic out of focus UFO style, alien person. You're like, is this really a person, right?
Right.
And I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't want to like. I'm not trying to. I don't think for me personally, I'm not trying to hate on anything. It does. I think for me, the biggest kind of like, not red flag, but the kind of the biggest thing that like puts me on like a hesitancy of thought of like, what does this mean for the industry, is that is like them releasing this on a TV show that is tied to Marvel. What does that signal to the VFX like community, to motion graphic title sequence like creators? Because that's like a whole field that, like, there's a whole website called the art of the title or something like that. That is like just a whole like gallery of these like opening sequences, and for people to like learn and analyze and kind of come to see that. I think not that AI won't help with that, but like what is that, especially in a time right now where we've got the writer strike, where, like you said, like VFX like as a whole is like, it's in huge demand, yet like they're trying to undercut things, like whole studios are being like completely just going under, or like just going away, and like it's being sent overseas where they're way overworked or whatever the situation is. And so you have this situation where it's like, what is it signaling for this team, even if it's like a monumental like growth and like benefit to the industry? If it, for like, hey, this is possible. It was good enough, and it wasn't like, it was a good experience. It wasn't perfect. It had a ton of headaches, but it allowed us to, like you said, maybe like shift some of our team to work on the things that we really wanted to have happen. And, that way we can, get going with things, right? So I don't know. Pretty great stuff, honestly. I'm happy.
No, I liked it. Again, it's new industry change, and I'm curious to see how it's embraced or how it's rejected. And I hope that as an industry, it is embraced and regulated properly to continue to provide, like you said, content that is good enough to get out there, right? And to make sure that we're putting the resources in the right place. So I'm excited. I mean, again, I liked it. It gave me that eerie feeling to it. There's this theme of dual ambiguity to this show, and I think it starts off with these credits. Is this a machine trying to be an art? Just like, is this a scroll trying to be a human? Like, I think there's a lot of themes there to play around with, and I liked it. I see the concerns. I see the controversies around it, but I think we just have to
be cautiously optimistic. That's all we have to be.
That's it.
That's all we have to be. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a person who does tend to be an early adopter in things, and like even with AI stuff, I'm like, as much as I'm an early adopter, especially when it comes to something that's my craft, I can only imagine how hard of like a thing it is for someone who's got even more experience than I do, right?
Yeah.
Like, or in like, not that like there's anything wrong, like experience. It's not that they don't want to do it. It's just that like, what does that mean? It's like, it's the question comes back to like what you just said is like this like ambiguity of like, you know, what does this mean? What is our relationship to this technology, to our creativity, to our skills, and so it'll be interesting to see how this show plays out, and as more people talk about this, and to see if more people behind the scenes that worked on it or even were involved or perhaps has some sort of like could bring shine some light on this.
Yeah.
If that can be the case. So anyways, pretty great stuff.
Yeah, that's what I want. We invite Method Studios to talk a little bit more about it. Mainly I'm just curious from like the operational side of it all. How did this help the studio be more efficient?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, if you guys like this, let us know by commenting down below what your thoughts were with the new title sequence. Do you hate it? Do you like it? Do you think it's like you like us, like me, that's might be cautiously optimistic, or we just want to have a conversation about this. So let us know.
Okay, we'll catch you guys on the next one.